Let's solve now a question from the IB Questionbank. You have to remember that the IB Questionbank questions will be easier than the example we demonstrated in our explanation. I have points A, which is 3 with 1, B, which is 3 with 5, C, D, and E. Represent snow shelters in the Blackbird National Forest. These snow shelters are illustrated in the following coordinate axes. I have the horizontal scale, 1 unit representing 1 kilometer, and the vertical scale, 1 unit representing 1 kilometer as well. For part A, we want to calculate the gradient of the line segment AE. A has the coordinates. This is part A. A has the coordinates 3 with 1. And E has the coordinates 7 with 3. I need to calculate the gradient. So the gradient simply is equal to the change in Y over change in X, which is Y2 minus Y1 over X2 minus X1. Let's just label our coordinates. This is X1, Y1, and this is X2 with Y2. So Y2 minus Y1 is 3 minus 1 over X2 minus X1, which is 7 minus 3. This will be equal to 2 over 4, which is equal to half. So this is the gradient of the line segment AE. Simple and easy. Now, the park ranger draws 3 straight lines to form an incomplete Voronoi diagram. The straight lines are drawn surrounding the site E. You can see clearly that I have the perpendicular bisector between B and E, and the perpendicular bisector between E and C, and also the perpendicular bisector between E and D. For part B, we need to find the equation of the line which would complete the Voronoi cell containing site E. So if I want to complete the Voronoi cell containing site E, I want to find the perpendicular bisector for AE. I need to find out the perpendicular bisector for the line AE. I know that the gradient of this line, the gradient of the line AE is equal to half. So now, the gradient of the perpendicular line would be equal. I flip and I change the sign. It becomes negative 2 over 1. After finding the gradient of the perpendicular line, I want also to find the coordinates of the midpoint AE. So the midpoint for part B, the midpoint for the line AE is equal to, the coordinates of A is 3 with 1, and the coordinates of E is 7 with 3. So the midpoint of AE is equal to x1 plus x2 over 2, which is 3 plus 7 over 2, with y1 plus y2 over 2. So now the coordinates of the midpoint is 10 over 2, which is 5, with 4 over 2, which is 2. Now I use y equal mx plus c to find the equation of the perpendicular bisector. So I have y is equal to negative x plus c. And now I substitute this point. When x is equal to 5, the value of y is 2. So now I have 2 is equal to negative 2 times 5 plus c, having c to be equal to C is equal to now 12. So my equation is y equals negative 2x plus 12. But I want to write it in the form ax plus by plus d equal to 0. So I can take simply the y to the right-hand side, or I can take the minus 2x to the left-hand side, depends. So it becomes minus 2x minus y plus 12 is equal to 0. And by this, I wrote my equation of the perpendicular bisector in the form ax plus by plus d equal to 0, which is the general form. Now for part C, section C of the question, in the context of the question, explain the significance of the Voronoi cell containing site C. The Voronoi cell containing site C is that any point in the shaded region, any point in the cell is closer to shelter E than any other shelter. And by this, we could solve an IB question bank on Voronoi diagrams. The IB question bank are easier than the demonstration. It's fine. You won't expect very hard questions in Voronoi diagrams. You won't expect to completely draw the Voronoi diagram, but it's very important to understand its concept.